Tuesday is the International Day of Women and Girls in Science. Just 29% of women are working in science and engineering in the United States, but they are dominated in one specific field. CGTN's Sarah Walton explains.
This class at New York's John Jay College of Criminal Justice is learning the painstaking details of being a forensic examiner, how fingerprints, fiber and DNA analysis can solve crimes. As well as a love of science, these students have another thing in common. They're all women.
Ever since my undergrad, there's been mostly women in my classes. Same thing for my master's and even my PhD.
I grew up watching a lot of TV shows like Forensic Files, CSI, and that's what caused my interest in pursuing my career in forensic science.
After watching those crime shows on TV, that was honestly one of a big influence for me.
And they're not alone. American programs like Bones and CSI are being credited for the popularity of the subject by portraying female scientists in a positive way. The college even has a scholarship set up by one of TV's most famous forensics from the long-running and hugely popular series NCIS.
I played the character Abby Shuto on the show NCIS for 15 seasons. Abby was an incredible forensic scientist, and she ended up becoming a role model for young girls around the world.
So you guys are going to be jumping into doing human hair analysis.
Surveys have indicated that up to 78% of forensic science students in the U.S. are women.
I started in the program, in the graduate program, in the early 90s. There was probably a little bit more of a balance, gender balance at that point in time. But by the late 90s, we were already having the imbalance with more women coming into the forensic science program.
But women still lag behind men in most scientific professions.
More than half of workers in the US with a college education are women, but they make up just 29% of people employed in science and engineering. This year, the UN is marking the 5th International Day of Women and Girls in Science to try to find ways to address that imbalance.
We know that if women and girls are primarily showcased in very traditional roles, girls would think that this is their role in society. Whereas if we see the more progressive roles of women and young women and girls as scientists, as those reaching the moon, the ones that are going to Mars, then the girls can dream and aspire to those type of jobs.
It's hoped that the dominance of women studying forensics can be replicated in other fields and eventually lead to more women pursuing careers in all areas of science. Sarah Walton, CGTN, New York.